Hi, my name's Trace. I really love drawing and I'm going to show you a little bit about how I do it. And if you like, you can copy along and hopefully after have a go yourself and especially have fun. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the tools that I'm going to use today. And I've chosen to use a biro because most people have a biro. And I'll just do a really little picture to show you. So then I'll have a pencil. So if I want to do really rough stuff, like just so you can see me waving, I won't do much with the pencil. I don't really use them very much, just for the main ideas. And I had a scarf on, didn't I? Nose. And I had a beanie on. So you can see if I used a pencil, I might not have done that line on the beanie, but I could make it a stripy beanie, so it wouldn't matter. Just scribble some hair on. And I just use the lines a little bit, not too much. There's me waving, and my name is Trace. You might like to draw yourself. And then I've got these pencils there, watercolor pencils. So I might want to use my eraser to rub out the pencil. And it's best to do that when make sure that the ink's really dry. And then I've got my colored pencils. These are actually watercolor pencils. So I've kind of got this colored skin. And I'll just do it really quickly. I like doing things roughly, and I really like pink cheeks. It means you've been outside having a bit of time doing some exercise. And I might just give myself a pink hat because the white's not so interesting. If I wanted, I could put stripes on it and mix my colours. And my favourite jumper is green, so I will have a green jumper. And my hair is kind of a mixture of colours. It's got some brown in it, and it's got a little bit of yellow, and maybe some of that one too. And then I've got this excellent tool here, which it doesn't matter if you haven't got one. You can just use a normal paintbrush, or you can just leave it as pencil. But in one end, it's like a bottle of water that you can actually take this bit off and add more water. And then the other end has got a brush on it. And then you see what you can do is make it look like a painting. It's like a drawing painting. And I like to draw I clean my brush just on the side. Then I might draw the stripes. Clean my brush. Do that hair. I'm not very exact. I like things to be nice and loose. So I thought we could do a picture of being with the trees. What about that? So I've got some nice paper here. It's it's a bit thicker than normal paper, but you can just use normal paper, especially if you're not using the water on it. So often I would go and I'd sit somewhere where I can see what I'm drawing, but today I'm drawing inside in the studio, and I'm just going to do an imaginary picture. And I'm just going to really roughly draw very lightly with my pencil. You might barely be able to see it, where some things might happen in the picture. So it's going to be a picture about ways to love a tree, and it's about how I love the tree. And I might put a nest in there. And so, yeah, you might think of your own ways, or you might want to copy this for a start and then later go on to your own ways. So I've done only really, really rough and quick with my pencil. And then I'm getting my biro, which is waterproof. So if I do use that water, the water paints, then it won't matter. So I'm just doing, I really like stick figures. People think, oh, I can only do stick figures, but I think stick figures tell a lot. So I think it's fine to do stick figures. And here I've got them sleeping under a tree. Maybe there's going to be one of the branches here. And there's their hands. It's like kind of swinging from a tree. And I put these little lines on to show the movement. And here I might, since I've given her arms and here to make it not a stick figure, I'll just make them a bit thicker. She looks like she's going to have black shoes. You see that? I just like to make things up as they go. And probably her hands like that. And then what might happen on the next branch? I reckon there might be a bird, perhaps looking down, wondering what that poor girl is doing because she can't actually fly like the birds. And then maybe in the next branch, we could put maybe a bird in a nest. Sitting on a few eggs. So if you want to copy this one, you can just stop it at any time. And I think there's going to be another bird here, maybe having a sing. I like drawing things really simply. And that's going to be the singing coming out there. And then on this branch, I had the idea, I can see already what my idea was, to have a, maybe like a possum. Looks like I'm going to have one with those really nice ringtails underneath. And, you know, you can exaggerate as much as you want. Everything like that's fine. Okay, so there's a tree coming into shape. And I was going to have someone under here, but I think that's probably enough. So I can rub it all out. And then I'm just going to make, because we're just doing this quickly, I'm just going to do a nice simple tree. And I really like things simple anyway. And I'm going to put another bird up here having a sing, and we might have to have one flying as well. So I'm just making it up as I go, as well as having ideas. So here goes one flying. And you can see I've got the little dots for singing, and I like to use a kind of lines to see where a bird's flying. So that bird, maybe it comes under here where they flew. It's sort of like a trail. They went the whole way across the page, that bird. So you can see where their bird went. And whoop, they need some eyes. And what about those songs? Maybe their songs are going to meet. So they're going to kind of cross over each other. Go right off the page. And then I would like to put a bit of texture of the bark on the tree. I might just have to put a tree hollow in here because I really like the big old trees, and maybe there'll be a bird in there as well and another nest. Maybe a cockatoo. Give them a little cockatoo thing. So what I do is I just kind of make them richer and richer. I start with a simple idea, and the bark is simple. It's just little lines. It's all pretty simple. And soon we shall colour it in. So you might have different things going on at your tree, or you can copy this time and then make your own up next time. And what did I call it? Ways to love a tree. I always like adding words to my pictures. And I like it when they don't have to be in straight lines as well. Dot, dot, dot means endlessness. And it's probably pretty dark in there. What else? Maybe we could have, she might be dreaming. She could be sleeping like she's snoring. And she could be dreaming. Maybe she's dreaming that she's hugging the tree. What about that? Because we haven't had a tree hug in the picture, so we'll put it in here. It's the tree in the tree picture, tree dream. It's her hugging the tree. Tree hug. And then I reckon we'll put a few little plants coming up. You see how I just keep making it more and more detailed? And maybe there's going to be a butterfly coming out. I like butterflies. Maybe there's like some ants climbing up into the tree. And we could even have a spider coming down. How about that? I'll just put some bits of leaves to show that they're leaves. So we need to have the weather. And I like to kind of frame my picture, so I don't really go for straight lines. And look, the bird is actually flying out of the picture. And then, you know, you might want to write your name on it. So I'm going to write my name. And then, before we colour it in, I'm going to rub out the pencil, because you can see here, I don't know if you can see that, there's some of the pencil that I've really changed my mind on. So the pencils are just really rough. So I'm going to pause it and rub it out and then come back and colour it in. So while I was rubbing it out, I thought I might just add a few more things. And I also thought of so many other ways to love a tree. I mean, I want to put some fruit in the tree. So I'm just going to put some apples in there. But you could have any type of fruit. And I also think sometimes like the flowers on the trees are so beautiful. So you might want the flowers. Just there's so many ways to love a tree. So, you know, feel free to not necessarily copy this at all, but just make your own inspired by this. So there is me, the tree lover. And here's starting to get some of the bark on the tree. And you've noticed that me and the tree are the same skin. And I often think that about how we're so similar. I mean, I'm pretty good camouflage next to a tree, I reckon, especially because I like to wear clothes that are colours that are good for camouflage, because then all the wallabies don't see me and I get to see them, or their echidnas and stuff. So I don't know, maybe we want to put a wallaby in here while we're thinking about it. Why don't we put it over here? Put them over here, I should say. Yeah, you won't see the whole of them. But I'm just going to put them in because I like them so much. You see how my pictures just keep growing? That's how it is around here. I did see some wallabies this morning on my walk. That actually looks like wallaby poo. I did a mistake, so we'll just make it some wallaby poo, which is good for the ground. And then we might need some more ground. So you see what I do? I use the mistakes. We won't put ground on the other side because that's already there, but I can put some in there. And then, now, what was I doing? Colouring in. So I think we need a tree to have like more than one colour on its branches and its bark. And that's probably a similar colour to my hair. But I've got some grey bits in it now. Well, maybe the tree does too. Nest. Let me make it dark in there. Because remember, I've got that water brush. I'm going to be able to mix it all together soon too. I might even put a bit of yellow on this side, like the sun's hitting the tree. Could be sunset. Or actually, what I really like is sunrise. I'm not very good at sharing my pencils, actually. I've got to say, I like to keep them in my hand. Sometimes I hold like 4 pencils in my hand and I just keep swapping them. So we'll see, it might actually happen while we're here. Oh, I think it's happening. Okay. And you can notice that I haven't got a lot of colours with me. I've just got about 5 or 6 colours. And I always think that's probably enough. And I don't need to do it really neatly. I just like putting colour down. Some people like to do it really neatly, and that's fine. Everyone does it differently, but that's how I like to do it. And I'll put a bit of darker on this side. This is a side away from the sun, so we might put the sun on the other side. And this side can have the sun on it. Makes a good sound, the pencil, doesn't it? And maybe that's a sulphur-crested cockatoo as well. And I don't have grey with me, so they can just have a brown beak. And I'm not really sure what all the birds are going to be. Maybe like a red robin, maybe a yellow robin. Maybe sometimes when I've got lots of time, like I'll spend a lot of time working out which type they are. Now this will be dry ink by now, so I can rub that out with a pencil. And maybe a bit of yellow on the eggs where the sun's hitting them. The sun's hitting the side there. I think I'll make the fruit kind of orangey coloured. I'm not actually sure what tree this is, but that's okay. I'm pretty quick at colouring. And there's the butterfly. There's the tree dream in the tree story. Little wallaby. What else? I'll put a bit of yellow on the side where the sun's hitting. I really like doing that. And a bit of brown. And we're nearly ready to use the paint. Well, not the paint. Make the picture look like it's painted, where it's like watercolor pencils. Put a bit more brown on that side to make it a bit stronger. All right, and I think what I'll do is I'll give this a bit of emphasis with the lines. All right, you think it's ready to colour it in with the water brush now? I reckon. So you can give the little water brush a bit of a squeeze to get the water out more. So when I'm doing the tree, I'm probably going to squeeze it a bit. Not so much there, but and you can do it nice and relaxed. And this side's much more yellow, isn't it? Nice. Going up the branches. Up there. Up there. Up there. And remember I had I was washing my brush off, so I might have another bit of paper to wash it off on if I want. Do the little tree as well. And I didn't give myself pink cheeks. Well, there's a trick to that. What you can do is put a bit of pink on your other bit of paper and pick it up and put it there. It's pretty little, but you can probably still see it. The same thing, if I want to make it a bit darker on that side of that tree, I can just add some dark green here and take it over there. Make that side darker. So you can see it's a great tool, this brush, for merging all your colours together. That's why I never worry if they're a bit messy when I do them. Nice, look at that. And clean the brush. And what if I miss a little wallaby? That butterfly might like to have a bit of colour. Get nice and dark in the tree hollow. And actually I feel like I would like it a bit darker in that side of the tree. So I'm just going to get a bit more colour. Put it over there. Yeah, the possum. And the spider. The ants. The bird in the nest. All the little details. There's quite a lot of them, aren't there? But they're all pretty simple. And you can see that I don't really mind if things are a bit not exact. Because for me, it's more about the feeling of the picture, of how I feel when I love a tree. And this gives me that feeling. So I'm going to say thank you. Have fun doing your picture of how to love a tree. And if you like to copy this one as well. And if you want to, I would love to see what you come up with. Maybe there's a way that we can get you to send them over the internet. Thanks. Bye. Have fun.